It's Lamont Property Group, and in this video, we're going to be gearing this towards Tennessee homeowners that might have a property that they're looking to sell, and how you can use the showing data to strategically price your property to ensure you're hitting the market within the price bracket that's going to ultimately help you reach your goals. So for starters, we want to, first off, we want to break it down and get to our specific county and city. So we're going to start off first by applying the filter for Hamilton County here. We can just type that in, Hamilton County, and then we'll apply that for Hamilton County. And as you see, there's a slight change in the data there. Then we're gonna make sure that we're removing all this out, and we only wanna have it for our city here in Chattanooga. So we'll get that and we'll apply that. So here's the breakdown and it would look like as far as, activity. But we also want to make sure that we're doing it within a more recent time frame as well. So we're going to go over here to update this date here to probably about January 1st. That's fine. Basically, start of the new year. We want to kind of see what the activity has been doing for 2025 up until now. You can break this down for last 30 days, last 60 days. But this is just for illustration purposes only. So the end date, we're going to set that for today's date, which as of now, that is June 9th. So for our date time frame, we have January 1st, 2025, and we're going to be ending that date time frame here, June 9th, 2025. So we also here for the price range, just to kind of get the full picture, we'll take this up here to probably about 800,000. That's a pretty good price range to stop at here for as far as our Hamilton County, Chattanooga area go. So we're not going to get any specifics as far as bedrooms, property types, things of that nature, which you can. But for this video, illustration purposes only, we want to show you guys how a seasoned real estate agent uses this data strategically to ensure that you as the homeowner is, hitting the market at a good price so you can ensure that you're reaching your goals. So let's start off with a hypothetical for context. So in this context, we're going to have a hypothetical homeowner that's looking to sell their property and they're needing to move to, let's say, San Diego. They're relocating for a job and they have a time frame that they need to be there. So they don't have, 6 to 7 months to sit on the market to wait for an offer. But they are, however, looking for probably about 400,000 for their home. So this is just to kind of reiterate that context. We got a homeowner that's looking to relocate and they got a specific time frame that they possibly need to get that done in. And they're asking about, anywhere between 400,000 to 405 for their home. So that's just the general context. We're going to show you how a seasoned agent will use this data here to basically present it to the homeowner in such a way to allow them to make an informed decision, based off the information that they have available. We're not trying to force anything on any homeowners. We're just here to be the experts, present you with the data, and allow you to make the best decision that makes the most sense for you. So based off that context, this homeowner is looking about 400 to 405,000. So if we come here, we can see that in the $400,000 range here to 409, the average showings per listing is roughly about 5 showings per listing. So as you can see, that's fairly low compared to a lot of these other brackets. But based off the scenario, this is the price range that they're asking for. They're asking for 400 to 405. They're needing to move for relocation. And this is basically where we're going to start. So we will present this to them saying, hey, we're getting about 5 average showings per listing here in this area. What we can do, though, to try to get a little more activity on the property, we can bump it up here to maybe 410 to 419. As we see, there's a little bit more buyers looking within that price range. However, that wouldn't benefit you as the homeowner because ultimately that would add more pressure because we're looking for you to move quickly. And so that may not help you. Maybe if you had a little extra time on your hands and you can wait longer to get that higher offer, then maybe it would make sense. But remember, in this scenario, they're needing to relocate. So, waiting, for a long time is probably not the best option. So as a seasoned agent, I'm going to come here and say, hey, but what I am noticing is there's a lot more activity here between that 390 and 399,999 range. So what we can possibly do is instead of coming in at 400,000, we can hit the market right here at the 399,999 range. We can hit it right at that number, and we're already going to be introducing your property here to as many more buyers as we would in this range. So, and the next benefit to that by going in this bracket here is we're not overpricing the property. We're just slightly bringing it below what you're asking, which brings value to these buyers. These buyers now see value, which ultimately can equate to faster offer because they see the value. So we're not saying that, you can price the property however you would like. But as a seasoned agent and a professional, it's our job to use the data to tell the story to allow you as the homeowner to make the best decision that works best for you. So in this instance, it probably would make the most sense for us to come in at this 399,999 price for this homeowner because they're needing to relocate. So this kind of solves that problem for them needing to move quickly. Also, we're gonna, instead of jumping in at 400,000 and only getting about 5 showings per listing, we're gonna a little over double that. Just jumping here one price tier under. It's all about just how you price the property. So that is just a basic example. Again, this could shift and vary based on the homeowner's needs and scenarios and what their ultimately what their goal is. But we just wanted to kind of use this and show you that a seasoned agent will use this data to ensure that you're strategically pricing your property to make sure that you're reaching your goal in a timely manner. Another thing that we kind of use this data to tell a story for homeowners in general. Sorry about that. What we can see here, though, is that if we start off here at 200,000, what we notice is that as we get up here to about 300,000 here, this is a lot of buyer activity in this price range here from 100,000 to 300,000. So kind of what that story tells is as a homeowner, if you have a property that you own and it's reasonably value within this price range, now might be a good time for you to consider selling, because what the data shows is that the demand is high for this price bracket. So if you have a home within this price range, it might be a good time to consider maybe listing that property on the market and seeing what you can do as far as what kind of offers you could get on your home. And again, that goes for any homeowner that's between 200,000 to 300,000, because as you can see here, there's a strong demand in this price range. You can see there's a slight dip after you go get beyond 300,000 here. There's a slight dip in that demand. Another story that can be told as well is that starting here at 400,000, within this price range up to, let's say, 500,000, we could probably tell those homeowners that the demand isn't as strong, so we can hit the market within this price bracket. But we do want to set the expectation that it could possibly take a little bit longer for that home to sell. And by using this data and presenting it in such a fashion that it makes sense, that it's understandable to the homeowner, it allows them to make the decisions that ultimately make the most sense for them. So again, this is Lamont Property Group. We just wanted to give you guys a quick overview of this and how a seasoned agent, will use this data to their benefit to basically allow the homeowner to make informed decisions when taking their property to the market. And I would probably go all the way to the point and say that if you're conducting a listing appointment, or if you're interviewing agents and they're not presenting this data to you, that's automatically a red flag, in my opinion, because again, any seasoned agent is going to know the numbers, going to use that data to ensure that the homeowner is able to make an informed decision based off what the information in the data is showing. We can even get this, down, if we were meeting with particular homeowners, this stuff can be filtered down all the way to a specific zip code. So if we were working with a homeowner with a property in the 37411 zip code, for example, we would then just basically kind of, pull that data here and give it to them based off these price brackets that we have. So this is just an overview, but if you're a homeowner in Chattanooga and you're, interested in working with a seasoned agent that's going to use the data to your benefit, feel free to reach out. We would love to connect with you, show you how we do things differently here at Lamont Property Group, And we also offer a cancel anytime listing agreement. So, we can explore these options with no pressure, and allow you to make informed decisions that ultimately make the most sense for you. So again, it's Lamont with Lamont Property Group at Century 21 Prime South. I hope you guys got a lot of value from this video today. If you like this video or find these videos kind of helpful or useful, feel free to make sure you hit the like button, leave us a comment below. We love to connect with you guys. Again, if you're a homeowner and you find yourself wanting to work with an agent that knows their stuff, and we're going to make sure that we position you properly in the market, feel free to give us a call. I can be reached at 423-414-5602. Again, 423-414-5602. Lamont Property Group signing out. Peace.